Today's a bit of a different episode. As I'm sure you've all heard, there have been some crazy fires in the Los Angeles area that can only be described as, well, apocalyptic. On this show, we try to embody the words of Mr. Fred Rogers. When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." But more about that right after this. Before we dive into the good news, let's give some context. At least 5 separate fires are ablaze, with the Santa Ana winds blowing up to 80 to 100 miles per hour. Tragic doesn't even come close to describing it. At the time of this recording, it is reported that 23 people are missing and 23 people have died from fire-related deaths. In the Palisades, 24,000 acres have burned down with over 5,000 structures destroyed. For the Eaton Fire, which is devastating areas like Altadena and Pasadena, over 14,000 acres have burned down with 7,000 structures damaged or destroyed. The Hearst Fire has burned 800 acres but has 89% containment. There's even more fires than those as well. As far as we know, close to 200,000 residences have been evacuated from the greater Los Angeles area. Curfews are in effect for the affected areas, where 34 arrests have been made for looting, impersonating firefighters, breaking curfews, and more. Firefighting crews from Canada, Mexico, and even South Africa have come to the aid to help fight these fires, but more on that later. Neighbors of the Woodland Hills area came together and restrained an individual believed to be an arsonist connected to the Kenneth Fire until local authorities could arrive. The individual was walking around with a blowtorch and was accused of attempting to start fires at different houses. He is currently in custody and under investigation. Crews fighting the California wildfires are facing significant challenges, including a lack of water from fire hydrants not designed to fight wildfires and stretch resources as they juggle multiple crises. The state's drought and extreme heat have created ideal conditions for larger, more destructive fires, turning what was once a fire season into a year-round crisis. With little rainfall since July, the entire region is under smoke advisories. Global Giving is partnering with nonprofits to support first responders and impacted communities, focusing on immediate needs and transitioning to long-term recovery efforts. Cash donations are the most effective way to help, as survivors' needs vary greatly and can persist for years. Now let's hear from friend of the show, Slothy, about packing an emergency kit.
Thank you, Jay. Hi, everyone. I'm Slothy, and this is my pal AP.
So,
Today we're packing a to-go bag in case of an emergency. You can help us.
where do we begin?
It's always a good idea to bring face masks, a first aid kit, and some water and non-perishable food.
Wait, that's what these were for?
Money, a phone and charger, and some spare clothes are always a smart idea to pack as well.
Slothy, I hate to be the one to break this to you, but we're animals. We don't even wear clothes.
The day is still young, my friend.
Ah!
Now these are just a few basic supplies you should bring, but more advice and supplies can be found online. I'll make sure to tell Jay to leave some links in the bio. Speaking of which, back to you, Jay.
I can't see.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Slothy. That was great. So, with all of that done, let's dive into some good news and look for the helpers during these scary times in Los Angeles. When her brother called asking if she could babysit his rabbit Oreo and cat Winston as he fled the Palisades fire, Annie Harvelix didn't hesitate. "Sure, bring them over," she said. Then it hit her. If these 2 fluffballs needed a safe haven, so might a whole zoo of other pets. Annie, who runs 2 vet hospitals, sprang into action faster than a wiener dog at an Oktoberfest racetrack. She hopped on Facebook and posted, "I have an empty old vet hospital in Marina del Rey. I'm happy to house any animals that need to be evacuated." Cue the flood of messages and calls. Surprisingly, more people were volunteering to help than needing a pet drop-off, but plenty still showed up. One woman arrived with 4 dogs, and Annie's count quickly climbed to 20 dogs, 20 cats, and of course, Oreo the rabbit. Some dogs even got the VIP treatment at Annie's own home. The biggest challenge? People with multiple pets. They might be able to take 1 dog or cat to a hotel, but not 2 or 3, said Annie. Her hospitals also doubled as emergency rooms for injured pets, stocked with extra food and bedding. But not all tales had a happy ending. Annie tried to save 9 donkeys a woman had to leave behind, but by the time she arranged transport, the donkeys were set loose. Through it all, Annie's making sure every paw, whisker, and tail find safety, because when life gets tough, you have to be the one to fetch hope. Caleb Lawler, a producer in the film industry, was positively heroic during the Palisades fire, rescuing a woman and her 4 dogs. While helping in the hills, he was heading out when the woman came running to his truck asking for help. Caleb didn't rough it and turned right back around to fetch her and her pups. Talk about a barking good rescue mission. Planet Fitness is stepping up to lift spirits by offering free access to its facilities. Locker rooms, showers, hydro massage loungers, electrical outlets, and Wi-Fi, all at locations in Los Angeles County that are still fire-free. This offer lasts until January 15th, giving people a chance to work out their stress in the face of the wildfires. The community's response has been off the charts. Talk about a workout of the heart. 2 generous individuals, Gina Zapanta and Mike Alder, reserved a large block of hotel rooms in Sherman Oaks through the weekend for families with children fleeing the LA wildfires. They also offered their office spaces in Sherman Oaks and Montebello as safe havens with electricity, internet, and storage for valuables. In their message, they encouraged those in need to reach out for support, emphasizing their love for the city and their commitment for helping the community stay safe. 52 rooms booked, with 167 people housed and prepping care packages this past Saturday. Sandy Valley Ranch in Nevada has stepped up to help evacuate over 100 horses in the midst of the fires. Posting Instagram, they said that in addition to the space for the 100 horses, they also have emergency food, water, and medical that can be provided. Check out the link below if you're interested. John Finoglio, a reporter for KTLA5, demonstrated remarkable courage during his live coverage of the Eaton fire near Altadena. While providing updates on the rapidly spreading wildfire, the flames unexpectedly reached the house behind him. Without hesitation, Finoglio grabbed a garden hose and tried to protect the home, showing an extraordinary level of composure and quick thinking under pressure. His actions drew attention not only to the severity of the wildfire, but also to the human toll and urgency of the crisis. Finoglio's brave efforts symbolize the resilience and resourcefulness required in the face of such disasters. Although it's unclear if his intervention ultimately saved the house, his instinctive response turned a routine report into a powerful moment of humanity amid devastation. Finoglio's bravery underscores the unpredictable and dangerous conditions reporters often face when covering natural disasters. His first-hand experience of the wildfire's ferocity has likely resonated with audiences, giving a raw and personal perspective on the crisis sweeping Southern California. Jamie Lee Curtis has donated $1 million from her family foundation to support relief efforts for communities impacted by the devastating Los Angeles wildfires. Curtis announced the pledge on Instagram, stating she is working with California leaders to ensure the funds are directed where they can make the greatest impact. On The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, she described the fires as a catastrophe, highlighting the destruction of homes, schools, and local landmarks in areas like the Pacific Palisades and Malibu. In addition to Curtis's donation, the Entertainment Industry Foundation, or EIF, has activated to support firefighters, first responders, and displaced individuals. EIF, which previously assisted during the 2023 Maui fires, is channeling public donations to aid ongoing wildfire relief efforts. Canada is rallying to support Southern California in its fight against devastating wildfires, with contributions coming from multiple provinces. Ontario is dispatching 165 urban firefighters, 2 water bombers with pilots, and an incident management team of up to 20 experts in logistics, safety, and planning. Premier Doug Ford emphasized Ontario's dedication to aiding its closest friend and ally, along with providing essential equipment like hoses, pumps, and chainsaws. Airbnb has announced free temporary housing for those affected by the fires, partnering with 211 LA to support displaced residents. Funded by Airbnb and participating hosts, many offer homes for free or at a discount. Service fees for hosts and guests are waived, and hosts receive damage protection and liability insurance. Donations to Airbnb also support emergency housing efforts globally. Pasadena Humane is providing urgent care for pets displaced by the wildfires and have already taken in over 300 animals. Many of the animals have suffered burns and injuries, and the shelter is treating them with pain medication, wound care, and other necessary treatments. Pasadena Humane is working with shelters across California to transfer healthy animals to create more space for wildfire victims. They urge pet owners to evacuate with their pets and offer emergency boarding. The shelter is calling for monetary donations to support its efforts in caring for affected animals. Check out the link below if you want to help out. Heartwarming footage from the Eaton fire captured a touching moment between a firefighter and a lost dog. The dog was seen wandering through a burning neighborhood before a firefighter, still battling the blaze, calmed the frightened pet by patting it on the head. Nice doggy. The dog was later rescued by a local animal organization. Social media users praise the firefighter for their compassion, with many calling them a hero. The Bolidis were among the fortunate few whose homes stood untouched amidst the devastation of the Pacific Palisades fire. Driving through their once thriving neighborhood, they were overcome with grief for friends who lost everything and the surreal randomness of their own survival. Beloved homes of celebrities like Billy Crystal and Anthony Hopkins were destroyed, while Malibu's iconic seafront lay in ruins. Longtime residents like Sheila Silber lamented the loss of decades of history and community, unsure of what the future holds for their neighborhood. Yet, amid the devastation, a spirit of resilience emerged. The Bolidis immediately began helping their neighbors, dousing flames with buckets, and lending hands to those in need. We have such a beautiful community, and we're all in this together. Even in the face of overwhelming loss, the community's unity and determination to rebuild shine as a beacon of hope. Heartfelt gratitude is pouring in for firefighters on the front lines. At an In-N-Out Burger, patrons and staff cheered loudly for a group of LA County firefighters who stopped in for a quick meal. The applause and words of thanks visibly moved the soot-covered crew. California lawyer Jennifer Holliday shared a similar encounter, praising firefighters who ate briefly before heading back to work. In-N-Out has stepped up by providing free meals to emergency responders, expressing their appreciation through social media posts honoring the firefighters' bravery and sacrifices. Seconds Market, a Los Angeles-based secondhand clothing organization, has launched a program to directly connect clothing donors with fire victims. Through an online sign-up system, donors are matched with recipients based on clothing size, age, and gender, ensuring personalized support. Within 48 hours, 20,000 donors signed up, offering not just clothing, but anything they could spare. Donors handle packaging and shipping costs, bypassing the labor-intensive process of sorting donations. The organization's founder aims to provide immediate relief, helping victims rebuild without the burden of shopping during recovery. Future plans include setting up a free store for fire victims to shop for donated items. The initiative offers thousands one less thing to worry about when they wake up today. And that's our show. We've included some links down in the description with resources for how to donate and support those in need. Despite all of the craziness that's happening, I want you to remember that no matter what's going on in the world, there's always good news to share. If today's episode brought a little light into your day, please consider hitting like and subscribe. I'm Jay, the Good News Monster, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Good News with Jay. Bye!